This is the video tutorial for section 1 of the Ciara crossbody bag. This section covers the crossbody strap as well as the strap holders. Now in front of me are the pieces you're going to require for this section. You have 2 strap holder pieces, 2 strap holder stabilizers, 2 crossbody strap pieces, one longer than the other, 1 crossbody strap stabilizer, a 1-inch swivel hook, and a 1 1/4 inch O-ring. You'll need a pen and a ruler. Now, something you need to do before you begin this section is you need to take your swivel hook and you need to feed it through your O-ring to make sure that it goes through easily and clear, just like this. Because if you get your whole bag completed and your strap can't convert to from crossbody to your shoulder strap, then you are going to be left with strictly a crossbody strap. So you need to do this before you even begin this section. So what we're going to do is we're going to go ahead and we're going to begin with the strap holders. So I will move everything aside and get prepared for the strap holder assembly. So now we're all set to begin our strap holders. Before I do begin the videos though, I want to let you know that this full video tutorial on this bag is going to be using leather. The leather I've chosen is 3-ounce leather, and it is a distressed kind of leather. And I just wanted to remind you that if you are choosing to use something a little thicker, like 4 ounces or more, you may need to do a little bit more skiving, especially on your strap holders, your crossbody strap, and your pattern piece B. So bear that in mind if you do go ahead and use something thicker. Okay, so what I've done is I have drawn my line right down the center, just like that, and then I've drawn this line 5/8 of an inch in from this edge. This line is strictly to give you a guideline for placing your Decaville light. The Decaville light is only put on one side of the strap because when you fold this in half and do your stitching, you only need to have one side that's nice and smooth. That'll be the exterior of your strap holder. The inside, you don't need the extra bulk or the stiffness for that portion of the strap. So we're going to go ahead and we're going to start working on this one piece. So I've gone ahead and done the 2 lines. I've fused my Decaville light to the wrong side of my leather, and I have placed a strip of 1/2 inch double-sided tape along the center line. Now, one thing you need to do is if you cannot see that 1-inch line you've done after you've placed your Decaville light on, you can go ahead and redraw the line so you can see it through the double-sided tape. So you want to peel off your double-sided tape, and you're going to begin folding this edge into that 1-inch line. Just like this. I start from the center all the time and I work outwards. That makes it much easier to keep everything lined up so that you don't get any kind of twisting and pulling of the strap. So I'll go ahead to this side now and I'll align this line to the edge that I've just folded over. Go back to this end. Complete this end just like this. Now this is a side that's got the Decaville light and you can feel it as opposed to this one. So I'm just going to put it to this side because it's easier for me to work with. What you want to do is you want to fold this strap over so that the 2 raw edges line up at the end, and that is your area at the bottom of your strap holder. It's got a nice finished fold on it. So what you want to do is you want to bring this, kind of give yourself a bit of a finger press there. Bring it back again so you can see where the center line is. You're going to take another strip of double-sided tape and you're going to just place that right down the center of this piece, snipping this off. Now I'm using 1/2 inch double-sided tape because I want to secure my center. This strap holder, once you fold that over, you do not stitch through this double-sided tape, so it should not gum your needle. So you're going to go down here, come down and back up again. But before you do that, you want to make that nice and smooth. Peel that paper off your double-sided tape. I'm just going to swing this around because I'm right-handed. I'm going to line that edge up first, and then I'm going to make sure that these edges right here are nice and aligned to make sure that my stitch and my strap holder is perfect. So I'm going to give that a real good press. You can take a poly roller at this point and you can roll this strap to give it a nice crisp edge, but basically this is what it's going to look like. Now if your machine has a right and wrong kind of looking stitch to it, so if the top stitch is better than the underside stitch, for example, then you want to be stitching from the Decaville side. So you want to come down and you want to be about 1/8 of an inch from that folded edge. You want to start at this raw edge, come down to the bottom, right about 1/8 of an inch from that folded edge, pivot, come across, same thing to this one, go back up again, and you want to make sure you back stitch well here so that your stitching does not unravel. So we're going to go ahead and I'm going to finish this other strap holder, and then I'm going to go to the machine and do my stitching, and when I come back you'll be able to see what the strap holders look like once they have been top stitched. I've now completed my strap holders. As you can see, I have gone down, started at the raw edge, come down along that folded edge, 1/8 of an inch seam allowance. I've used a longer stitch length because I find that that gives you less inconsistencies in your wobbling of your stitching. So I've started at the wrong side, or the raw edge, come all the way down to this point, that fold, across the bottom and back up again, and you can see both of them are done. So what I'm going to do at this point is I'm going to set these pieces aside until they're required, and I'm going to go ahead and get all the parts and pieces for the crossbody strap to show you the construction of that. Now I've gone ahead and collected all of my pieces for my crossbody strap. I have my longer strip, my 45.5 inch strip, my neck strip, which is 44 inches long, and my strap stabilizer, my O-ring, and my swivel hook, and some double-sided tape. Now I've gone ahead and drawn lines in preparation on both the two pieces right down the center line, as you can see, right down through here, that runs all the way down from one edge to the other edge. That's the 44-inch piece. That's the only line I'll be drawing on that piece. But on the 45.5 inch line, I'll be drawing two other lines. One will be 1/2 inch in from this edge, or center of the 1 inch line right in through here, plus one line at the end and at this end, 1 inch in from those ends. These lines and this line is strictly guidelines for your Decaville light, which you will be fusing onto this piece. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to fuse the Decaville light onto this piece, and I'm going to come back and we're going to put the two pieces together and continue. So you can see the Decaville light has been fused to the wrong side of the 45.5 inch piece. I needed to redraw my center line because I'd lost it through the Decaville light. This is a darker leather and I can't see that through the Decaville light. If it's a lighter leather, you can see it a little bit easier, but I couldn't, so I needed to redraw this line. So this is your 44-inch piece, which only has the one line to it. What you want to do is you want to take one end only, and you want to place right sides together of the 44-inch piece and the 45.5 inch piece. You want to clip these together, and then you want to go to the sewing machine and you want to stitch these together using 1/4 inch seam allowance. Once I've done that, I'll come back and we can continue. Now that I have stitched the ends together, I've placed a piece of double-sided tape. This is 1/8 inch on one side of the seam allowance and on the other. I'm going to peel off that paper and I'm going to press open this seam. I'm going to use a poly roller just to make sure it's nice and flat. Now if you're using fabric, you can use an iron and press that open. So what you have now is you have one long strip of crossbody strap. This is the 45.5 inch side, which has the Decaville light fused to it, and this is the 44 inch side, which does not. Now, before you feed your O-ring and your swivel hook onto the strap, you need to place some more double-sided tape onto the wrong side all the way down the center of the full length. Now, this does not have a line added to it. You can just make sure you're about 1/2 inch in from that edge. Now, if you're using fabric, you can use glue if you want. You can just press it down, whatever you wish, but this is leather, so I am using double-sided tape, and I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to add this tape to this line and come back and show you what you need to do to put the O-ring and the swivel hook on. So now I've gone ahead and placed the double-sided tape all the way around the strap, and now I need to connect the two ends together, forming a full circle. But before I do, I need to place my O-ring and my swivel hook onto the crossbody strap. So I'm going to feed them onto the strap itself, just kind of folding this a bit to make it easier. Slide it down out of the way of your seam. It doesn't matter which one you put on first. You can put the swivel hook on first and then the O-ring. It doesn't really make a difference. Now, what you need to do at this point is you need to connect the two ends together. So you want to bring the right sides together. Now, be very careful you do not twist your strap, because if you do, you will have to unsew it and you will have to redo it. You're going to clip the right sides together just like that, so you've got one completely full circle. You're going to go and stitch this just like you did the other seam, 1/4 inch in from the edge. Place another piece of double-sided tape on either side and fold open that seam so it's nice and flat. Once you have done that, you're going to come back and you're going to peel the paper off the double-sided tape, just like this. And you're going to begin folding this edge to that drawn line all the way around the full circle. Once you have done one side, you're going to come back and you're going to fold over the other side so that that raw edge aligns or lines up with that other raw edge, just like that. So what you want to do is you want to completely go around the full circle of the crossbody strap. And once you've done that, I will show you how you do your top stitching. But I'm going to go ahead and now and stitch my sides together, and I'm going to come back, and then once I fold this all together, I'm going to come back and we will continue. So now that you've folded up the edges of your crossbody strap, this is what your strap should look like. You should have one complete circle that's connected. Your seams are at this end, and your O-ring and your swivel hook should be moving freely within your strap. What you need to do is slide your swivel hook down to the end where the seam is, as well as the O-ring down to the opposite end. Your seam should sit approximately anywhere from 1/8 inch to 1/4 inch from that fold. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to start by placing that approximately 1/4 inch. I'm going to put a clip here to the end, and I'm going to bring these strips all the way down to the other end to make sure that I am even. And there I am, I'm even, so I'm going to put another clip down there. So basically what is happening is that you have got both seams, get this around this way, both the seams are showing on the one side of the strap. So that is going to be considered the wrong side. Now, what you need to do is you need to connect these pieces together securely. I'm going to put a piece of double-sided tape between here, but you can put some glue, or you can just use your clips, and you can clip all the way down the side to keep it together. You want to make sure it's not going to shift when you're doing your top stitching, because you don't want to have a little bit of an edge showing on the one side. So totally up to you as to what you wish to do. But I am going to put double-sided tape in here because I feel it secures everything better, and I'm not stitching through it, so I don't worry about it gumming up my needle. You're going to be stitching from the side that does not have the seam. So you're going to start top stitching on this side. You're going to go all the way down 1/8 inch from the folded edge. You're going to come across where the swivel hook is, and then you're going to come back again all the way to the top and across where this swivel hook is. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead and put my double-sided tape between, put these two connections together, and I'm going to go and top stitch this and come back and show you where I place my swivel or my rivets to complete this strap. So here's my crossbody strap all completed, stitched all the way around all four sides. So I've gone down the side, come across the either the end of the O-ring or the swivel hook, and come down the other side. I have then gone ahead and already put my holes in for my rivets. But you don't have to do rivets if you don't want. It's strictly up to you. It's an optional feature. I like to have rivets on there just to give the strap a little oomph and make it look a little bit nicer. But if you want to keep it to a minimalist strap, then I wouldn't put them on at all. So what you want to do is you want to place your rivet. I've already done the hole, and the hole is approximately 1/4 of an inch away from my stitch line. So I've placed the male portion through the back, and I'm going to cap that piece, and I'm going to put the male portion of the rivet through from the back side, and I'm going to cap it on the top. Now depending on the press you use, that might be backwards or different from what I'm doing, but I hand set all of my rivets, so that's how I place them in. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to now go ahead and hand set these rivets, and that will complete the crossbody strap, and you will set that aside until you're needing both the strap holder as well as a crossbody strap, which is right at the end of when you finish the whole bag. So I'll go ahead, set those, and that completes section 1 of the Ciara crossbody bag, and that was the strap holders as well as the crossbody strap.